Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up, guys. Wake up. There you go. Waking up. It's Friday morning. It's almost the weekend, and let me address what's going on in the world. We got a lot going on in the world. It feels like the world is being torn apart. The fabrics of everything that we've been built on are just frayed and all over the place. I pray that we have calmer heads that prevail, that we all take a deep breath collectively and start realizing that we are all in this shit together. All of us. I don't care if it's racism, the coronavirus, politics, everything, every single thing. If we all step back and realize we're more alike than different, and that we all have the same wants, desires, and hopes. We all want to do well. We all want to be able to go out and not get sick and die from something. We all want a good job. We want to see our kids do better than us. We want to have a nice home. We want to have food to eat. We want to have things to look forward to. We all want the American dream. And what we have to realize is what this country was built on was being the melting pot. You remember when we used to learn that in school? The giant melting pot, where we were taking ideas, concepts, and things of everybody and putting it together and coming out with a greater that's better than the sum of the parts. Somewhere this has been lost along the way. But we are truly better together than apart. And understand, the world loves seeing what's happening to our country. Let's take a deep breath. Let's step back. And let's start trying to work together. Okay? Whew. Except when it comes to Cowboys and Eagles. I ain't trying to work together with the Eagles, man. The question you have to ask right now is, are we a better team now than when the season ended 3.5 months ago? 4 months? No, damn, 5 months ago. Almost, damn. Time seems like it's just stopped since we've had the corona. You know, it's kind of like if you go to jail, you know, like let's say you go to jail for 10 years. When you go to jail, everything was as you remember it 10 years ago, or at least that's what you think when you get out. You know, I think it was I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker. I think that was the movie where a man got out of jail. You know, he's super fly and all that. He's got the goldfish and the platform shoes and everything else. You know, and he knows he's looking fly and cool till he gets out and realizes that the world has changed. It's passed him by. And it's just like, everybody's like, look at this fool over here. You know, he first, I think it was Eddie Griffin. Yeah, he was cool. He was cool. You know, and then all of a sudden people start looking and he sees things that are different. That's feels like that's the way it's been with the coronavirus. So that's where I'm sitting thinking the season just ended a couple of months ago when it's been 6 months ago for our Cowboys. But be that as it may, do you think that the Dallas Cowboys are a better team now than they were January 1st? I think they are. I think that the Eagles did us a favor. And you know, I got to tell you something. Eagles, and Philly 500 and all this stuff. You know, we keep hearing the same narrative that the Eagles practice squad. You lost to the Cowboys practice squad. The Eagles practice squad guys. You know what? I got to be honest with you. I think maybe the Eagles made a mistake in those practice squad guys. Maybe some of them should have been your regular starters. because the Eagles played a lot better with the practice squad guys than they did when they were healthy in the beginning of the season. Am I wrong on that? Wait, hold up. Just a theory, but just to touch on this for a second here. I want to just kind of just think about this for a second. When you started the season, because nobody plays the preseason anymore, the Eagles, they beat the Redskins 32-27. Right? They got that victory. But then they lost to Atlanta Falcons. They lost to the Detroit Lions. At home. They beat the Packers in a shootout, 34-27, where Aaron Rodgers couldn't deliver, where he had first and goal on like the 4 and had 4 chances and couldn't get it in. They did beat the Jets, something we didn't do, but then they lost to the Vikings. They got their ass handed to them 37-10 by our Cowboys. And that was with the regular guys. But when you got down here, when they started losing people left and right after they lost to the Miami Dolphins, damn, y'all lost to the Dolphins? Oh. You beat the Giants in overtime, you beat the Redskins, you got us, and then you got the Giants. It seemed like you guys actually played better with your practice squad guys than your starters. I'm just saying, but be that as it may, you got hot at the right time, and you were able to overcome the loss to the Miami Dolphins and the loss to the Detroit Lions and Atlanta Falcons, teams that, we did lose to playoff teams, but you lost to basement bitches. But I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. But anyway, and you did have one more victory over us in the season. So congratulations. But it's my contention that much like I'm hoping that maybe with what's going on with our country right now, that maybe this is rock bottom and it'll affect change. Because generally speaking, as long as you're kind of making it, but you're not succeeding, but you're kind of making it, you don't make changes. You understand what I'm saying? Unless it gets really, 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 really bad, And when it gets really, really bad, when you hit rock bottom, you finally say, enough is enough. I got to do something different. I got to get up off my ass and change. That's what we do as people. It's just the way it is. And losing to the Eagles, 17-9, was the impetus to finally get us to do that. So that was the end of the Jason Garrett era, because I've got to be honest with you. Hey, Mr. Chipmunk, how you doing? You got a chipmunk, whole family up out there. So every morning when I'm doing my show, he comes through there and he's just kind of like, hey, what's up? Had we won that game, I still believe that Jerry Jones would say, after the season we had where he just couldn't seem to get it right, Jason Garrett was still able to turn it around and get us to the playoffs. And, all we just need to do is just make a little bit of tweak here and a tweak there, and we're going to be, that was going to happen. That was going to happen. And I think we would have been on the same course, doing the same thing, expecting a different result. And we had been on that trip many, many times and been lost at sea. But that was the moment that changed everything. Now, as we look through this team, I think coaching, I don't know how you can't say that coaching isn't going to be better. Coaching will be better if for no other reason other than unpredictable. The fact that now defensive coordinators have to try and guess what the Dallas Cowboys are going to do. Mike McCarthy's been out of the league for a year. He's been able to come up with new strategies, look at things differently, as opposed to concentrating solely on the Green Bay Packers. He's had a world view of the NFL. And so now defensive coordinators are going to have to go through. He's going to do West Coast offense. What's he going to do? Is he going to use Zeke Elliott on first downs? Is he going to be more wide open now that he's got CeeDee Lamb? So the more things and more doubts you can put on other teams, more things you have to cover and take care of, the more difficult it is to stop. And if they do stop one thing, then you can swing and go to another. And that's the benefit I think we're going to have just from that standpoint. Offensive line. Tyron Smith's a year older. Travis Frederick is gone. So you have to think that the offensive line maybe comes back a little bit. You've got great backups. Connor Williams coming off ACL surgery. He's been in and out of the lineup for the 2 years of his career. You've got a young guy in Connor McGovern. You've got a Joe Looney with experience. You got Lyle Collins coming off of a great year last year. But I think your offensive line, without Travis Frederick, will come back down a little bit. Tight end. As much as I love Jason Witten, I think actually getting the blocking tight end, I can't remember his name now, from Kansas City, is going to help in the run game. And I think having Blake Jarwin as your number one go-to security blanket, I think is going to improve the yardage per completion for the Dallas Cowboys. I think that that's an upgrade. I think Michael Gallup having another year. I think Amari Cooper hopefully getting the season started healthy. And getting CeeDee Lamb, I think, will be a better impact than Randall Cobb. I think wide receiver is going to be better. I think Zeke Elliott actually not holding out and having an off season will make him better than he was last year. And I think a year more of Tony Pollard, second year, he could be better and probably used better. So I look at the offense as a whole and say, I think the offense got better. Defense, I think a change of philosophy was much needed. I think the fact that what's killed us more than anything else is the lack of takeaways and being able to stop the run. We now have some dogs in the fight to help stop the run. I think we've got an aggressive coach that's going to help us to get turnovers. We got questions in our secondary. We've got young guys in Diggs. We've got, of course, Woozy, we got Lewis, we got Anthony Brown, guys that are on last years of their deals, that are improvement years, that are still relatively young, Xavier Woods. So you have to look at our secondary and say, I don't think it got better, but I think the change of philosophy may make a better result. Does that make sense? I think, it's kind of like writing a letter with a pencil versus using a computer. You don't have anything different in your mind of what you're trying to do, but because you have a computer, you've got the spell check that's on there. You've got it so it prints it out consistently. You follow what I'm saying? You have the grammar check. So it's still the same mind, it's still coming the same story, but it's a lot easier to do it on the computer than it is to handwrite it. You follow what I'm saying? And that's where I think you have with the change in the coaching staff with this more aggressive style. I think it's going to suit guys like Xavier Woods better. I think actually Jordan Lewis will benefit from it as well. And Diggs, I think, is that guy who thinks about the ball first and taking the ball away. And that's going to be a change of attitude versus a Byron Jones. So in my mind, I think the Dallas Cowboys got better. That's just the way I think about it. From where we were this time last year to where we are now, I think this is a better team. Now, of course, the thing they've got to do is get the quarterback under contract. And we'll see if they get that done or if we end up having a holdout and having another situation that screws up a season. So that's all I got to say about that. So, hope everybody has a nice day. And like I said, everybody, let's take a step back, take a deep breath, and let's try to start working together. I'll see you guys soon.